The Shopify store you see on screen has achieved over $1.3 million in sales in the past 12 months using Meta ads alone. I will just refresh the screen for you so you can see that all of these numbers are real. And in this video, I'll be giving you a complete step-by-step Meta ads tutorial so you can achieve numbers like this for your own Shopify stores. I'll cover how to set up data tracking for your Meta ad campaigns so you can accurately track all of the sales on your Shopify store that are coming from your Meta ads, how to set up the ad campaigns and create high converting video and image ads for your Shopify products using a number of methods, including utilizing AI. I'll show you how to read the data for your ad campaigns and how to scale your ad campaigns to achieve 6 and 7 figures in revenue with your Shopify stores. So if you've been looking to bring in more sales on your Shopify stores utilizing Meta ads, this is the tutorial for you. The timestamps are in the description so you can skip to any part of the video. This is Elliot with Judge.me, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off by connecting your Meta Pixel to your Shopify store. The Meta Pixel allows you to track visitors to your Shopify store from your Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns so you can measure how effective your ad campaigns are. You can track things like clicks through to your store, add to carts, and purchases to see which of your ad campaigns and ads are performing the best. Setting up the Meta Pixel correctly is an essential part of running a successful Meta ads campaign for your Shopify store. If you don't track your ad campaigns accurately, you won't be able to see what's working. The timestamps are in the description so you can skip to any part of the tutorial, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. In order to connect your Meta Pixel to Shopify, the first thing you need to do is create a Meta Business account. So go to Google and type in Meta Business Suite, then click on the first link. From the Meta Business Suite, click on Get Started, and from here you can create a Meta Business account. So either log in with a Facebook or Instagram account that you already own, or click on Create New Account and create a new Facebook account. Once you create a Facebook account and have logged in, you can go back to the Meta Business Suite in the other tab and click on Get Started again. You'll then see a message saying unable to access Meta Business Suite with this account, and that is because you need to create either a Facebook page or an Instagram account for your store. I recommend starting with a Facebook page, and I'll show you how you can connect an Instagram account for your store to your Meta Business Suite later on in the tutorial. So click on Create Facebook Page. When you click on this, you may be brought to a page that asks you whether you want to create your page for a business or brand or for a community or public figure. Re-log into your Facebook account again and you'll be brought to the Facebook page setup. So don't worry about choosing business/brand or community/public figure on the previous page, as from here you can now set up your Facebook page. You can start off by giving your Facebook page a name. So just choose the same name as your Shopify store, then choose a category for your page. This can be related to the products you sell, and finally add a bio to your page. You can use ChatGPT to write this. Once you've entered this information in, you can click on Create Page. Next up, you can enter in your Shopify store's website and email address. Choose Always Open and click Next. You'll then be prompted to upload a profile picture and cover photo for your Facebook page. You can create both of these in Canva. The profile photo should be 500 pixels by 500 pixels. Simply add your logo to the center of this, and the cover photo should be 851 pixels by 315 pixels. This can be an image related to your store's products. Upload these and click on Next. You'll be prompted to add a WhatsApp number for your store to your Facebook page. This is optional, so you can skip this if your store doesn't have a WhatsApp number. You'll be prompted to share your Facebook page with your friends. Again, I'm going to skip this. And finally, you'll be asked about your marketing preferences. Choose these and click Done. You'll then be brought to the Facebook page you just created. So now we've created our Facebook page, we can head to our Meta Business Suite to start setting up our pixel. So click on Meta Business Suite. Now I know we've just created a Facebook page for a store called Pure Soul, but for the next part of the tutorial, I am going to continue on with a Meta Business Suite from a different store, because I haven't connected the pixel for that store, so I can show you the entire process. So don't worry if you're seeing a different brand in the next part of the tutorial. It is going to be the exact same process that you need to follow. Like I say, I am just switching to a Meta Business Suite for another brand so I can show you the entire process. Your Meta Business Suite should look something like this. So the next thing we can do is connect our store's Instagram account to our Meta Business Suite. So of course, create an Instagram account for your store first if you haven't already done so, and then click on Connect Instagram. Log into your Instagram account, and after a few moments, you should see your store's Instagram account connected to your Meta Business Suite. So now we've created our Meta Business Suite, our Facebook page, and our Instagram account. The next step is to create an ad account for our store so we can start running ad campaigns. So go to Settings, click Ad Accounts, and click on Add. Click Create a new ad account, give your ad account a name, and choose the time zone and currency for your ad account. I recommend choosing your local currency, then click Next. Agree to Meta's terms and conditions, and click Create Ad Account. You can add your payment information to your ad account. I recommend adding this as this will prevent any restrictions on your ad account related to payment issues down the line. Now that we've created our ad account, we want to share our Facebook page and Instagram account with our ad account, so when we run ads, we can run them from our store's Facebook page and Instagram account. So click on Pages and click on Connect Assets and double check your Instagram account is connected to your Facebook page. Next up, click on Instagram Accounts, click Connect Assets, choose Other Business Assets, choose the ad account we created a moment ago and click Add. Then click Done. To finalize the connection between our store's Facebook page, Instagram account, and ad account, we can create a business asset group. So click on Business Asset Groups, click Add, and choose how you want to organize your business assets. So we'll choose separate brands or line of business and hit Next. Give your asset group a name, so you can just enter in the name of your Shopify store and click on Create. Choose your store's Facebook page, ad account, and Instagram account and click on Add Assets. Choose who you want to control the assets, so you can choose yourself and assign yourself full control of each asset in the business group. So the Facebook page, ad account, and Instagram account. Then click Assign and click Done. Now we've set up everything needed to run Meta ad campaigns, we can connect all of this to our Shopify store and finally connect our Meta Pixel to our store as well. Just one quick thing worth mentioning before we move on. A huge mistake I see is people setting up the pixel perfectly, but their store doesn't actually convert. So Meta never gets enough good data to optimize your ad campaigns. More conversions equals more data for your pixel, which equals better optimization and cheaper ads over time. Things like a strong product page, clear messaging, and customer reviews massively increase conversion rate by building trust. If you're looking to add reviews to your Shopify store, we use Judge.me. It's a free Shopify reviews app that lets you import and display reviews quickly, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out for your own stores. So to finalize connecting your Meta Pixel to Shopify, head to Shopify, click on Apps, and click on App Settings. In the Shopify App Store, search for Meta, and you should see this app, Facebook and Instagram. Click on this. From the Facebook and Instagram app page, click on Install and install the Facebook and Instagram app. Once you've installed the app, click on Get Started within the app. From here, you can click on Connect Account and sign into the same Facebook account you used to sign up for your Meta Business Suite. Then find your store's business portfolio and click on Connect. You'll be asked to choose your store's data sharing preferences, choose Maximum and hit Save. Scroll down and you'll be prompted to create a Meta Pixel. Click on Create New, then click on Confirm. Scroll down and agree to Meta's terms and conditions and click Submit for review. The Meta Shopify app will say Finalizing Channel Setup, so just give this process a few moments. And once the process has finished, our Meta Pixel has been connected to our Shopify store. We can verify our Meta Pixel connection by going to our Meta Business Suite, clicking on Settings, and then clicking on the Data Sources tab and clicking datasets and pixels. You'll see no events received under your pixel, which is fine as we haven't recorded any events on our store yet. So we can click on Go to Events Manager. From the Events Manager, click on Test Events and click on Confirm that your website's events are set up correctly. Paste in your Shopify store URL and click Test Events. You'll then be brought to your Shopify store, switch back to the Events Manager in the Meta Business Suite in the other tab, and you should see a page view and view content event being tracked within your Events Manager. If you see this, it means your Meta Pixel is now tracking data and is set up correctly, ready for you to run ad campaigns. Meta ads have changed in 2026 and beyond, with variety in the ad formats you use for Shopify ad campaigns being one of the main priorities for Meta. Meta want to serve their audience fresh, interesting, and varied content. Therefore, you need to mix up which ad formats you're using for your e-commerce and dropshipping ad campaigns. Let's start off by covering what an ad creative format actually is and why it's so important. An ad creative format is simply how you deliver a message about your product and why potential customers should buy it. Think of it as the style in which you present your products to the audience. Let's take these barefoot shoes as an example. The angle we use to market these shoes could be to relieve foot pain, but this could be presented in multiple different ways. A user-generated content testimonial, a voiceover explainer video, a founder story about the shoes, a fast B-roll montage, or even just a static image. I'll go over each of these ad formats in more detail in a moment. And this is important because different people respond to different styles of content. Some people trust real customer stories, some need a logical explanation of how the product solves their problems, and others just react to aesthetic visuals. So if you're only using one ad format, you're only speaking to a small percentage of your potential audience. Creative formats are also how you communicate to different audiences without changing your targeting settings in your meta ad campaigns. The footage, captions, and storytelling inside the ad creative helps Meta understand who the ad is relevant to and who to serve it to. So again, for these barefoot shoes, we could be targeting gardeners, gym goers, or busy parents within our ad creatives while still running a broad targeting campaign. Meta's AI can scrape the ad creative and understand which audience to serve it to, and some ad creative formats will resonate better with certain audiences. That's why testing multiple formats isn't optional with Meta. It's how you reach more potential people with the same product and bring in more sales. So let's look at some ad creative formats you should be using for your own Meta ad campaigns with your e-commerce and dropshipping stores. First up, we have UGC, or user-generated content. UGC ads are designed to look like they were made by real customers and not by a brand. Think casual phone footage, someone talking directly to the camera, sharing their experience with a product, almost like a social media post. And that's exactly why they work so well. Let's take a look at a UGC example for the Barefoot Shoe brand.
So they're super lightweight, like I can't even feel them on my feet. They're waterproof, like the water just drains right out of them. They are bendable, so they're easy to travel with. Plus they like bend to the ground. Like I cannot say enough about these shoes. I'm not even kidding. If you're looking for some really good hiking shoes, everyday wear shoes, like seriously, these are your go-to.
On platforms like Instagram, people scroll past anything that feels too polished or too salesy. UGC blends into the feed because it feels natural, relatable, and authentic. Instead of feeling sold to, the viewer feels like they're watching a real recommendation. UGC is especially powerful for cold audiences who don't know your brand yet because it builds trust quickly. With UGC, you can show real-life use, real results, and real reactions, which lowers skepticism and makes people more willing to keep watching. So if you're just starting out with ads, UGC is often one of the best formats to test first. It stops the scroll, increases watch time, and helps your product feel believable instead of promotional. And if you have multiple creators creating UGC for you, Meta will retarget your audience with different ads. When the audience sees multiple people talking about your product, the product is more likely to resonate with them and pique their interest. You can source UGC on platforms like Fiverr, Collabstar, Billo, and UseClip. The prices will vary depending on the platform and the experience of the creator, but you can get UGC at some reasonable prices even if you're just starting out. Alternatively, you can also film the footage yourself with friends and family if you're on a budget. Next up, I'm going to show you how to read the data on your first Meta Ads campaigns for your Shopify e-commerce and dropshipping stores. I'll be covering the key metrics to look out for, how to set up your Meta Ads columns to monitor the data quickly, and when to kill or scale your Meta Ads depending on how they perform. Firstly, we have CPM. CPM stands for cost per milli or cost per 1,000 impressions. And this is basically how Meta charges you for your ads. So they charge you every time your ad is shown to 1,000 people. The CPM is actually very important because if you can get your ads in front of more people for a cheaper price, that means you have a bigger potential audience that will be interested in your products, click through to your store, and make a purchase. You want to keep your CPMs under $40. This way you can get your ads in front of enough eyeballs to get enough clicks through to your store and make enough sales. So you can see the CPMs on my ad account here. Most of them are very cheap because I'm able to create good ads. You can do some simple maths to work out what a good average CPM is for your own store based on your product margins. Let's look at an example. So if I source a product for $15 and I sell it for $75, that gives me a $60 margin. The average click-through rate on a Meta ad campaign is between 2 and 5%. So let's be conservative and say our click-through rate is 3%. If my CPM is $45, that means it costs me $45 to show my ads to 1,000 people. If 3% of those people click through to my store, that means I get 30 clicks through to my store. So based on this, we can do $45, which is our CPM, divided by 30 clicks, which means I'll pay $1.50 per click. So just stay with me for a moment here. If my store's conversion rate is 2%, which is on the lower side, but as a beginner, it generally will be on the lower side. So that means I need 50 clicks to achieve one sale with a 2% conversion rate. So based on my CPM of $45, which achieved 30 clicks, which is $1.50 per click, if I need 50 clicks per sale, we can do 50 times 1.5, which means I'd pay $75 to get enough clicks to achieve a sale. Now, if we go right back to the beginning of this equation, my margin was $60, and based on my CPM of $45, it's going to cost me $75 to achieve a sale with this CPM, which means I'm making a $15 loss on every sale achieved. So you can work this out for your own store. The most important thing is to know your numbers. Now I'll do the same equation as if my CPM was $15. So 1,000 views on my ads is going to cost me $15. If I get 30 clicks at a 3% click-through rate, that means I pay 50 cents per click. If my store's conversion rate is 2%, I need 50 clicks for a sale, which means I pay $25 for 50 clicks or $25 to achieve a sale. If my margin is $60, it means I make $35 profit on every sale. So just based on looking at the CPMs, I can make a good guess as to whether the ads will be profitable or not. Now, don't write off your ads too early based on the CPM. I'd recommend to spend at least the sell price of your product on an ad campaign before you get an accurate measure of your CPMs. So if you're selling a product for $60 on your store, spend $60 on your ad campaign. Of course, if you have super low CPMs, something like $10, that's a really good sign. If you spend the sell price of your product on an ad campaign and your CPMs are super high, like $120, then you can pretty much kill these ads as they're never likely to be profitable. There are many different factors that affect the CPM for your ad campaigns. Firstly is the quality and engagement on your ad creatives. Meta's algorithm penalizes low-quality ads with higher CPMs because they disrupt the user experience. Don't forget Meta's platforms, namely Facebook and Instagram, are content platforms first. So Meta wants you to provide its users with good content. If the content is rubbish, Meta doesn't like that because it gives their users a bad experience, which means they charge you higher to show that content to people in the form of higher CPMs. High engagement on your ads equals lower CPMs, so ads with high click-through rates, lots of comments, lots of shares, these are the types of ads Meta rewards with low CPMs. So focus on creating high-quality, engaging, interesting, and entertaining ad creatives to lower your CPMs. CPMs are also affected by something called ad fatigue. Ad fatigue is when an audience sees the same ad repeatedly, which causes engagement to drop and CPMs to rise. So be sure to refresh your ad creatives every 1 to 2 weeks. Swap in new, engaging, and unique creatives into your ad campaigns. Scroll-stopping ad creatives that stand out in the feed and encourage immediate interaction like higher click-through rates generally get lower CPMs. There are a few other factors that cause high CPMs. Firstly, targeting Tier 1 countries such as the US, UK, Canada, and Australia is a lot more expensive than targeting developing nations because they have higher purchasing power and more competition. Your ad account age can also affect your CPM. New accounts often face higher CPMs until they prove they're not fraudulent or spammy. So the more you spend on your ad campaigns, the lower your CPMs will be over time. Your campaign objectives and conversion event optimization also affect your CPMs. Campaigns optimized for sales generally have higher CPMs than those optimized for traffic or reach. And if your pixel is new or hasn't collected enough data yet, the algorithm will struggle to find buyers, resulting in a higher cost to reach them. So you can test running a traffic or awareness campaign first just to build some data on your pixel. So the key takeaways when it comes to CPMs are to know your numbers, create engaging ad creatives and update them on a consistent basis, and simply expect to pay a little more as a beginner whilst you're building data on your ad account and store pixels. Next up, let's talk about click-through rate. Click-through rate is how many people click through to your store from the number of people that viewed your ad. Average click-through rates for meta ads are between 2 and 5%, so of course you want to be on the higher end of this. The best way to get a good click-through rate is to create interesting, unique, engaging, and educational content around your products. So if you're struggling to do this, go to the Meta Ads library and have a look at some of your competitors' ads for inspiration. So you can see the click-through rates on my ad account are hovering between the 2 and 3% mark, which is pretty decent. Again, if you spend the sale price of your product on a campaign and you're seeing very low click-through rates, for example, under 1%, you'll want to go back to the drawing board and start creating some new ad creatives. We've kind of already gone over cost per click earlier when we looked at CPMs. Cost per click is pretty self-explanatory. It's how much it costs you when a person clicks through to your store from your ad. Again, you can do some simple maths to work out what your average cost per click needs to be if you know your store's conversion rate and the margin on your products. So if we're selling a product for $60 and it costs us $15 to fulfill, that gives us a $45 margin. If our store's conversion rate is 3%, that means we need 34 clicks to achieve a sale. If we pay $1 per click, it means we pay $34 to achieve a sale. Meaning if our margin is $45 and we spend $34 to achieve a sale, we make an $11 profit. So a dollar cost per click is just about profitable for us in this scenario. Of course, if you're a beginner and you don't know what your store's conversion rate is yet because you haven't had enough traffic to measure it accurately, just aim to have a cost per click under $1. In most cases, this is pretty good depending on your margins, of course. Cost per click and click-through rate kind of go hand in hand. The higher your click-through rate, the lower your cost per click will be. So if you have a very high cost per click, try to improve your click-through rate by creating better ads. You can see my cost per clicks for this ad account are all under £1, which is pretty decent. Cost per result is how much it costs you to acquire a customer with your ad campaigns. This is a super important metric to track because it basically shows you whether your campaign is profitable or not. Again, this is based on your product's margin. So if I'm selling a product for $60 and it costs me $15 to fulfill, I have a $45 margin. Therefore, if I keep my cost per result under $45, it means I'll be profitable. It's actually quite a simple metric to track, so keep an eye on it. It will fluctuate as you run your ad campaigns, so monitor it over a 7-day period to get an accurate measure of the actual cost per result, instead of stressing over it every single day. So you can see some of the cost per results I've achieved on the ad campaigns in this ad account. As you can see, it fluctuates quite a lot as we've tested many different ad campaigns, but the best performing campaign has a very good cost per result. ROAS stands for return on ad spend. This basically means how much you make back in revenue for every dollar you spend on ads. For example, if your ROAS is 1, that means for every $1 you spend on ads, you bring in $1 in sales on your store. Now, of course, when you minus off your cost of goods, your payment processing fees, and your Shopify fees, Having a 1 ROAS means you actually make a loss, not break even. You can use this website called breakevenroascalculator.com to work out what your break-even ROAS is. Simply enter in your cost of goods, your shipping costs, transaction costs, and any other costs associated with your store. Enter in the revenue you bring in when you make a sale on the product that you're advertising, and this website will show you what your break-even ROAS is. Now, when you're running your ad campaigns, as long as your ROAS is at break-even or above, then you're not losing money on your ad campaigns. So you can see I've achieved almost a 3 ROAS on my most profitable campaign with this ad account. So now you know which metrics to look out for. Let me show you how to set up the columns in your Meta Ads account so you can track all of these metrics easily. So from your Ads Manager, click on Columns and then click on Customize Columns. From here, we can choose the metrics we want to see. So choose Cost per Result, Results. Amount spent should be selected by default, so you can leave this. Choose CPM, Clicks All, CPC All, CTR All, Add to Carts, Checkouts Initiated, and finally Purchase ROAS. You can then reorder the metrics on the right-hand side by dragging and dropping them. Order them like this: Delivery, Actions, Budget, Amount Spent, Results, Purchase ROAS, Cost per Result, CPM, CTR, and CPC. You can leave any default metrics such as impressions and reach, then click Apply. You can now see a snapshot of the most important metrics we've covered within your Ads Manager. Next up, I'll show you how to create high-converting UGC ads. I'll show you how to write scripts for your UGC ads, how to source footage from UGC creators, and how to edit the footage to create engaging scroll-stopping ads that convert into sales. We're going to be creating a UGC ad for the putting mat product on this golf store, but you can apply the principles I'm going to show you to pretty much any product. So let's take a look at the ad we're going to be creating in this video.
I never know what to get my son anymore. He's obsessed with golf, but already has everything. Clubs, gloves, balls, you name it. And then I found this, a little putting mat that he can set up at home. It takes seconds to set up, it has a little slope to make it very realistic, and the ball even rolls back to him after every putt. He's been using it non-stop. Honestly, I think it's the only gift he didn't return this year, and it's actually helping him get better.
And these are the exact types of ads I've used to achieve thousands of sales on my own Shopify stores. When it comes to creating UGC ads, you want to start off with the script. You can then send the script to the creator to source the footage, and then you'll use that footage to create your UGC ads. We can begin writing our UGC script in ChatGPT, and there's a specific format you want to follow when writing your UGC script. You want to structure your script like this: the hook, discovery, benefit, and then a soft call to action. UGC works best when it feels like a person sharing their personal experience and not a brand selling a product. This structure follows a natural storytelling pattern that our brains trust. The problem followed by the realization, followed by the relief, and then a recommendation. This mirrors how we talk to our friends on a daily basis. Come into ChatGPT and enter this prompt. I want to write a UGC meta ad script for my product following this structure: hook, discovery, benefit, and a soft call to action. Then enter some information about your product. Try to provide ChatGPT with as much detail as possible about your product. So I've just said my product is a putting mat that lets you practice putting at home. It has a slope for realistic putting simulation and automatic ball return. You also want to include some information about your target market or the marketing angle of your product. So we're looking to sell this product to parents who are buying it for their kids who like to play golf. So based on this prompt, here is the script I've come up with for my UGC ad that I'll send to the creator. So we have our hook. So the hook is just, I never know what to get my son anymore. He's obsessed with golf, but already has everything: clubs, gloves, balls, you name it. Then we have our discovery section. Then I found this, a putting mat that he can use at home. We have our benefits section. It sets up in seconds, has a little slope that makes it more realistic, and the ball even rolls back to him after every putt. And then finally, we have our soft call to action. He's been using it nonstop. Honestly, I think it's the only gift he didn't return this year, and it's actually helping him get better. So you can rewrite the script a few times and fine-tune it, make sure all of the information is correct, and then we are ready to move on to the next step. You can also come up with shot ideas for your product that you want to use as B-roll over the top of the creator's voiceover if you don't plan on them showing off the product directly in the video. So in my instance, because I'm targeting parents looking to buy this product for their kids, I want some shots of a kid using the product to be displayed whilst the mum talks through the script. So these are the shots that I've come up with that I'd like the creator to include. We've got one shot of the child unboxing/unwrapping the product. We have another shot of the child unrolling the mat. We have another shot of a quick setup or assembly of the putting mat. We have a shot of them using the putting mat directly from behind, one of over the shoulder when they're putting, one from the front putting, and one from the side putting, and then finally a shot of the ball being automatically returned. So these are all of the shots that I want to use as B-roll, and they're going to go over the top of the creator's voiceover. So now I've got my script and the footage I need for my UGC ad, I can start searching for creators to create the ad. There are a number of websites you can use to find creators for your UGC ad. You can start off by using Fiverr. So just come over to Fiverr and search for UGC creator and find a creator that fits your product. You can also use a website called Collabster. Collabster lets you search for creators in any niche. So just sign up for an account. It is completely free. Create a profile for your store so you can add your store's URL, social media links, and logo as a profile photo. And now you're ready to start searching for and reaching out to creators. So click on search, and from here you can use the filters to search for creators for your UGC ad. You can filter by location, so we're just going to say we're looking for creators in Australia. You can filter by price, so let's say our maximum budget is $150. And you can also filter by gender, so we're going to go for females because we're looking for mothers to promote our product. If you upgrade to a premium account, you can also filter by age, ethnicity, and language. You don't really need to worry about this as a beginner. We can also enter in keywords related to the type of creator we're looking for. So because we're looking to create UGC ads targeting parents, I'm going to add the family search term to my search. Now I want to find a creator with children so I can get the product shots of the child using the product to use as B-roll in my UGC ad. So let's take a look at this creator here. She'll create one UGC ad for $150, and she has a son as well, so she can use her son to get the product shots that we're looking for. So I can start a campaign with her. So once you've found a creator you like, you can click on Add to Cart and you can finalize the purchase. You'll then be brought to your orders dashboard, and under the In Progress tab, you can message the creator with the brief of your UGC ad. So you can add your script and all of the shots that you need. So send the creator a brief of the UGC video you want, including the script and an outline of any shots you need. So you can see I've just added a description about my store in this section. So you can pause the video and have a look at the description if you want to. And then I've entered in the content requirements. So I have gone and included the script that we wrote earlier. I have just said shoot it in your own natural way. I have also included all of the shots that I need. So you can see shots including her son and some other shots that I need for the UGC that I want to create. I have entered in the aspect ratio, which is 9:16, so that's the mobile view. And then I have also asked for some additional information. So you can see I've asked for her shipping info, and I've just said that I will give her a 100% off discount code so she can go and order the product on my Shopify store. Then the product will get sent out to her so she can go and film all of the UGC videos that we need. After a few weeks, when the creator has finished all of the filming and they have gone and created all of the footage, they will upload it to the Collabster platform. So you can see down the right hand side here, we have all of the shots. So she has sent me all of the raw footage and raw files of each video that I requested. And now I have gone and downloaded these. So you can just click on the download button to go and download all of these. So they will go into the review section. If you are happy with all of the shots and videos that the creator has created, then you can simply go and approve them, and then they will go into the submissions section. And as I say, you can go and download all of these. So once you have downloaded all of these, you can now move on to the next part of this tutorial where we will go and edit all of the footage to create our UGC ad. In order to edit our UGC ad, we can use this online editing tool called CapCut. It is completely free to use and it will allow you to edit your videos without having any prior video editing experience. So from the CapCut website, click on Try CapCut Online. Create a CapCut account so you can sign into CapCut with your Google, TikTok, or Facebook account, or create an account using your email address. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. You can fill out the CapCut survey and hit Submit, and then you'll be brought to your CapCut dashboard. From the CapCut dashboard, click on Create New in the top left corner and choose 9:16 so we can create a vertical video for our UGC ad. You'll then be brought to the CapCut video editor. Upload the footage from your creator, so you can simply drag and drop this footage into CapCut. You can then start off by dragging the initial footage from your creator into the timeline. So I'm just going to put the footage she sent me in the correct order following my script. You can use CapCut to trim any pauses at the beginning and ends of the footage. So let's take a look at what I've edited so far.
I never know what to get my son anymore. He's obsessed with golf, but already has everything. Clubs, gloves, balls, you name it. And then I found this, a little putting mat that he can set up at home. It takes seconds to set up, it has a little slope to make it very realistic, and the ball even rolls back to him after every putt. He's been using it non-stop. Honestly, I think it's the only gift he didn't return this year, and it's actually helping him get better.
So now we've added the initial footage to our timeline. Next up, we can add some B-roll footage over the top of this voiceover to our timeline. So make sure the B-roll footage fits the script. So for example, when the creator says her son is obsessed with golf, I have a shot of him playing golf. When she says the ball rolls back to him after every putt, I have a shot of this happening on the screen. So just drag and drop your B-roll footage to fit the script. Be sure to mute any B-roll footage in the timeline. And again, we can now take a look at what the video is looking like now that we've added our B-roll footage.
I never know what to get my son anymore. He's obsessed with golf, but already has everything. Clubs, gloves, balls, you name it. And then I found this, a little putting mat that he can set up at home. It takes seconds to set up, it has a little slope to make it very realistic, and the ball even rolls back to him after every putt. He's been using it non-stop. Honestly, I think it's the only gift he didn't return this year, and it's actually helping him get better.
So we're on the final part of editing our UGC ad, and what we're going to do next is add some captions to our ad. So click on the Captions tab and click on Auto Captions. CapCut will automatically detect the audio and create the captions based on this. If at any point the aspect ratio of your video changes, just click Ratio and reset it back to 9:16. Double check that all of the captions are correct, and for any that aren't, you can manually correct them. So for example, I had to change this caption here that says potty mat to putting mat. You can then select your captions, click on the text icon in the right-hand tab, and edit your captions. So you can choose a font for your captions. I recommend choosing a simple font that is easy to read. And then you can also change the color, style, and position of your captions. So I recommend to move them just under the center of the video so they don't get cut off when you're uploading your video to the Meta Ads platform. Once you're happy with your UGC ad, click on Export, click on Download, choose 1080p for the resolution, and hit Export. The video might take a few minutes to export, and once this process has been completed, you can click Download to download your UGC ad ready to use in your Meta ad campaigns. Next up, I'll show you how to create voiceover ads for your products. We're going to be creating a voiceover ad for the putting mat product on this store, so let's take a look at the voiceover ad we'll be creating in this tutorial.
Buying gifts for my husband is impossible. If it's not golf related, he pretends to like it, then never uses it. Then I found this golf mat he can use at home. It sets up in seconds, has a realistic slope, and the ball rolls right back to him after every putt. He's been practicing every night. Honestly, it's the best money I've spent on him.
And these are the exact types of voiceover ads I've used to achieve thousands of sales on my own Shopify stores. When it comes to creating voiceover ads, you want to start off with the script. You can then send this script to creators to source the footage you'll use for your voiceover ads. We can begin writing our ad script in ChatGPT, and there's a specific format you want to follow when writing your voiceover ad script. You want to structure your script like this. hook, discovery, benefit, and then a soft call to action. VoiceOver ads work best when they guide the viewer clearly through a problem and solution while the visuals do the showing. Instead of relying on a personality or a talking head, the voiceover becomes the narrator, helping the audience understand exactly what they're seeing and why it matters. This structure follows a logical storytelling pattern that builds clarity and trust. You have the problem, then an explanation, then the solution, and then an outcome. It mirrors how we naturally explain something useful to someone step by step, which makes it especially effective for products that need context or education to convert. Come into ChatGPT and enter this prompt. I want to write a VoiceOver meta ad script for my product following this structure. Hook, discovery, benefit, soft call to action. Then add some information about your product. So I've said my product is an indoor golf putting mat with a built-in slope and automatic ball return that allows golfers to practice at home. So provide ChatGPT with as much information as possible about your product. Then add your marketing angle for the product. So I've said the marketing angle is wives buying a gift for their golf-obsessed husbands. So make sure you're providing ChatGPT with a marketing angle or target audience for the ad as well. I've said the tone should feel relatable, warm, and natural, like a real person sharing an experience, not a pushy sales ad. This is a voiceover style ad, so there won't be a person talking on screen. So then I've just said, please include clear voiceover lines written in short sentences suitable for meta ads, a natural storytelling flow, no hard selling language like buy now or order today, and suggest B-roll visuals for each part of the script, since the ad relies on visuals instead of a presenter, and we're going to source these pieces of footage later on in the tutorial. Then I've said for each section, format the response like this: voiceover, B-roll suggestion, voiceover, B-roll suggestion. So I've just added hook, discovery, benefit, soft call to action, and I've just entered in voiceover, B-roll suggestion for each part of the script. The B-roll should feel natural, lifestyle focused, and suitable for the meta ad feed. And then once you have entered all of that information in, you can hit go. Based on this prompt, here is the script I've come up with for my voiceover ad that I'll send to the creator. So we have our hook: buying gifts for my husband is impossible. If it's not golf related, he pretends to like it, then never uses it. Then we have the B-roll suggestions. We have our discovery section. Then I found this golf mat he can use at home. And again, the B-roll suggestions. Then we have the product benefits. It sets up in seconds, has a realistic slope, and the ball rolls right back to him after every putt. And again, the B-roll suggestions. And then we have the soft call to action. He's been practicing every night. Honestly, it's the best money I've spent on him. And again, we have our B-roll suggestions. So now I've got my script and the B-roll footage I need for my voiceover ad, I can start searching for creators to create the B-roll footage. There are a number of websites you can use to find creators for your voiceover ad. We're going to use Fiverr to source the B-roll footage for our voiceover ad. So head over to Fiverr and you can type in a word related to the niche of your store, followed by creator or UGC creator. So I'm going to type in golf UGC creator. You can then search through the creators and filter them by things like price and location. Once you find one you like, click on their gig and you can send them a message beforehand. If you're happy for them to create the B-roll footage, simply purchase the gig and fill out the requirements. So you can see the requirements I've filled out. I've just said, hi, I run a golf store. I'm looking for some raw footage for our product. We don't need any editing, just clean, well-lit raw footage of the following shots. Then I have entered in all of the shots that I need for my product. So again, this is going to go back to earlier. You prompted this with ChatGPT, so you should have all of the shots that you need, and you're just going to add these into the requirements. Then I've just said, please shoot vertically with steady framing. Natural indoor lighting is fine. A hallway, living room, or office space works well. No talking or voiceover needed because we're going to generate the voiceover ourselves. Keep clips a few seconds long, so 5 to 10 seconds is perfect. And I've just said, let me know if you have any questions. He has then provided me with his address. So I have gone and sent him the product out so he can start creating the footage. So just make sure you get the address off of the creator so you can send them the product and then they can create that footage for you. Once they've finished filming the footage, they'll complete the gig on Fiverr and upload the footage on the gig. So you can see he's uploaded all of the footage to a Google Drive, and now I've downloaded it ready to edit and finalize the final voiceover ad. Now we have our B-roll footage for our voiceover ad back from the creator, we need the actual voiceover. To create a voiceover for our ad, we're going to use a tool called ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs lets you create realistic voiceovers using AI, And the best part is you can get started for completely free. From the ElevenLabs homepage, click on Sign Up, and then you can sign up with a Google account or use your email address. Once you've signed up, from the ElevenLabs dashboard, click on Text to Speech. From here, you can paste in the script for your voiceover ad. If you click on Voice on the right, you can search for different voices that you can test out. Pick an appropriate voice for the audience that you're targeting. So I plan on running my ads to a UK audience, so I'm going to search for a female British voice. When you find a voice you're happy with, you can click on this, and now you can hit Generate Speech to generate your voiceover. You can use the sliders to edit the style of the voiceover, so you can make it faster, more stable, and the style of the speech more similar or exaggerated. Regenerate the voiceover a few times if you need to, so just make sure it has good pacing, it isn't too slow, and it sounds natural and realistic. Once you're happy with it, you can click on Download to download your voiceover as an MP3 file. So now we have our voiceover and the B-roll footage. It's time to edit it all together to create our final voiceover ad. In order to edit our voiceover ad, we're going to be using an online video editing tool called CapCut. It's completely free to use, and it will allow you to edit your videos without having any previous editing experience. From the CapCut website, click on Try CapCut Online. Create a CapCut account so you can sign into CapCut with Google, TikTok, or Facebook, or create an account using your email address. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. You can fill out the CapCut survey and hit Submit, then you'll be brought to your CapCut dashboard. From the CapCut dashboard, click on Create New in the top left corner and choose 9:16 so we can create a vertical video for our voiceover ad. You'll then be brought to the CapCut video editor. Upload the voiceover and the footage from your creator into your project, so you can simply drag and drop this into CapCut. Then you can start off by dragging the voiceover onto the timeline. Now we'll add our B-roll footage over the top of this to create our voiceover ad. Just make sure that the B-roll footage matches exactly what's being said in the voiceover. So for example, when my voiceover says the ball rolls back to him, I have footage of this on the screen. Keep the footage short, switching it every 3 to 5 seconds. The final thing we're going to do to finalize our voiceover ad is add some captions. So click on the Captions tab and click Auto Captions. CapCut will automatically detect the audio and create the captions based on this. If at any point the aspect ratio of your video changes, just click Ratio and reset it back to 9:16. Double check all of the captions are correct, and for any that aren't, you can manually correct them. For example, I've had to change potty mat to parting mat. You can then select your captions, click on the text icon in the right tab, and edit your captions. So you can choose a font for your captions. I recommend choosing a simple font that's easy to read, and you can also change the color, style, and position of your captions. Move them just under the center of the video so they don't get cut off when you upload them to the Meta Ads platform. Once you're happy with your voiceover ad, click on Export, click on Download, choose 1080p for the resolution, and hit Export. The video might take a few minutes to export, and once this process has been completed, you can click on Download to download your voiceover ad ready to use in your Meta ad campaigns. Next up, I'll show you how to create ads using AI. I'll show you how you can generate realistic footage for your products completely using AI, so you can save huge amounts of money on having to use real creators for your ads, and you can also create large volumes of ads to test in your Meta ad campaigns. Let's start off by looking at the AI ad we'll be creating in today's tutorial.
These are the Explorers from Pure Sole. Barefoot shoes are designed to naturally reconnect your feet to the ground. It's the best way to get all of the benefits of being barefoot while still getting the protection of shoes. The Explorers are a unisex fitness barefoot sneaker, and they've become my favorite shoe for my gym workouts. It's so much easier to keep my feet flat and connected. This means I'm more stable and can lift more weight with better form. Movements feel more natural since my toes are spread wide and gripping the floor. Everything I do feels way more effective since I'm not fighting for balance. The flexibility of the sole means I can do just about anything while wearing them, making them extremely versatile. Hit up their website and free your feet.
In order to create video ads using AI, we'll be using this tool called Creatify. Creatify has a number of different features that allow you to create ads using AI. You can create ads based on a URL, you can create UGC-style avatar ads in different styles, image ads, and unique product shots using B-roll in your ads. The main tool we're going to use to create our ads with AI is the Creatify Ad Clone tool. This tool lets you replicate any of your competitors' ads using AI. So it's super powerful because it takes the guesswork out of finding winning ads. You can just see what's working for your competitors and replicate this. In order to use this tool, you will need to sign up for Creatify's Pro plan, which is $99 per month or $49 per month on the annual plan. However, I think it's worth it for the quality of ads you can create. You can sign up for a month, create as many ads as you can, and then simply cancel your subscription after. Now, we're not sponsored or endorsed by Creatify. It really is the only AI ads platform that I've used that has allowed me to create high quality video ads with AI. And I have tried a few other platforms like Higgsfield, Arcads, Make UGC, and a few more. And I haven't been able to produce good quality video ads the same as I have been able to create with Creatify. So that's why we are going to be using Creatify to create our ads with AI. So from the Creatify pricing page, click on Get Started on the Pro plan. You can create an account with your email address or sign in with your Google account, and then you will need to sign up for a Pro plan, of course. Once you create a Creatify account, you will be brought to the dashboard. From the dashboard, the first thing we can do is set up the product we want to create our ads for. So under Manage Assets, click on Products. From here, click on New Product, and you can create a product in your Creatify account using a link, or you can add the information manually. Because I'm dropshipping, I'm going to add a link from AliExpress to these barefoot shoes, and then click Analyze URL. After a few moments, Creatify will gather all of the product information from the URL, so we'll get the product name, the category, description, and images. You can add your own unique selling points as well. I recommend editing the product name and description, so you can just use ChatGPT to write this. Once you're happy with the product information, click on Create Product. From our dashboard, we can now click Home, and then we can click on Ad Clone. We can select the product we want to create our ads for, and then we need to upload an image or video of the ad we want to clone. So come over to the Meta Ads library, and we can search for a competitor ad we want to clone. Under Select Country, choose All. Under the Ad Category dropdown, choose All Ads, and then search for the name of your competitor. We can then see all of the ads they're running. Choose an active ad that has been running for at least a month, as this is more likely to be bringing in sales. Click on See Details for the ad, and in the Chrome browser, right-click and choose Inspect on the video ad you want to clone. You'll then see a URL for the video. Copy this URL and open it in a new tab, and then you'll see the video, and you can click on the three dots and download the ad. You can then come back into Creatify and upload this ad, and once it's finished uploading, you can click Generate Cloned Ad. Creatify will then begin creating your ad. So in Projects in your dashboard, you'll see the ad is being generated. It can take around 30 minutes for your ad to be created. So we'll come back to this in a moment and see what Creatify has made. So we can see this is the ad they've generated. The product shots look really good. However, the captions, music, and voiceover still need a bit of work. So we can edit this directly in the Creatify video editor. So just click on Edit. Firstly, I'm going to delete all of the captions. So click on a scene and click Edit Scene. You'll see a bar that says HTML in the timeline. Just delete this to delete the captions on a scene. Next up, we're going to delete the music on the ad. So just select the music and hit Delete. We're also going to write our own script for the ad and upload our own voiceover. So I've written my script based on my competitor's script and tweaked it a little bit. But you can of course write your own script for your ad and use a tool like ChatGPT to do this. To create a voiceover for our ad, we can use a tool called ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs lets you create realistic voiceovers using AI, and the best part is you can get started for completely free. From the ElevenLabs homepage, click on Sign Up, and then you can sign up with a Google account or use your email. Once you've signed up for an account, from the ElevenLabs dashboard, click on Text to Speech. From here, you can paste in the script of your voiceover ad. If you click on Voice on the right, you can search for different voices that you can test out. So pick an appropriate voice for your audience. When you find a voice that you're happy with, you can click on this and now you can hit Generate Speech to generate your voiceover. You can use the sliders to edit the style of your voiceover. So you can make it faster, more stable, and make the style of speech more similar or exaggerated. Regenerate the voiceover a few times if need be. Just make sure it has good pacing, isn't too slow, and sounds natural and realistic. Once you're happy with it, you can click Download to download your voiceover. Now we have our voiceover from ElevenLabs. We can delete all of the other voiceovers from the Creatify editor. In order to upload our voiceover, in the timeline you'll see Add Music. Click on this and then in the top left, click on Upload and select your ElevenLabs voiceover file. Now we can simply rearrange the footage in our timeline to match our voiceover. Delete any footage that looks a little bit odd. For example, Creatify have generated this footage of a woman talking whilst holding the weights. I think it just looks a little bit odd, so I'm going to delete it. Just make sure what's being said in the script matches what's being shown on the screen. For example, in my script it says I can lift more weight with better form, and I have this clip of weights being lifted. Once you're happy with your ad, you can hit Render in the top right corner, save your project, and then click Render Video. Creatify will then generate your final video, and once it's ready, you can click on the three dots and click Download to download your video ad ready for your ad campaigns. To create higher converting meta image ads, I firstly recommend looking at the ads of your competitors. You can go to the Meta Ads library and search for one of your competitors by typing in their brand name into the search bar. Under Country, choose All, and under Ad Category, choose All Ads and hit Enter. You'll then see all of the ads your competitors are running. So scroll through and find any image ads that they're running. We're going to use these as inspiration for creating our own image ads. You generally want to look for active ads that have been running for at least 2 weeks, as these are ads that are more likely to be bringing in sales. Click on See Ad Details of an ad you want to use as inspiration for your own image ads, and in Google Chrome, you can right-click on the ad and click Inspect Element. In the Inspect tools, you'll see a link to the image in the ad. Copy this link and open it in a new tab. You can now right-click on the image and save this to use when creating your own image ads later on. Next up, you want to get some images of your product to use in your image ads. So as a dropshipper, I'm going to download some product images from AliExpress. Once you've got your ad inspiration and product images, we can head to ChatGPT and start building our image ad. Firstly, I'm going to remove any text from my competitor's ad so I can prompt ChatGPT to create a similar image. So I'm going to upload this image and say remove any text and overlays on this image, only keep the background image. Now ChatGPT has removed the text from my competitor's ad. I can prompt it to create a similar ad for my own product. So I'm going to download this image with the text removed from ChatGPT and re-upload it to ChatGPT along with my product images for my next prompt. I'm now going to prompt ChatGPT and say, can you recreate the image attached of someone sitting and have them sitting in a more green/forest area? They should be wearing the blue shoes attached and be a slightly older woman in her late 50s. The image should be 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. Then I can hit go. ChatGPT will then generate the image with your product. So as you can see, it has generated the image exactly as I've asked it, with the woman wearing the blue shoes. So download this image and let's go to Canva to edit the image to create our image ad. From Canva, create a custom size canvas and make it 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. If the ad you're using as inspiration is a square ad, you can make it 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. Both vertical and square image ads work on Meta. From here, drag your image into Canva and resize it to fit the canvas. We can then drag in our competitor image ad, make it slightly transparent, and start to add our own elements to the image to replicate our competitor's ad. So I'm just adding some text boxes to my image here in the exact same spots as the competitor ad. You can of course select fonts and colors that match the branding of your store. Once you're happy with your ad, you can download this from Canva ready to use in your Meta ad campaigns. So here is a side-by-side comparison of my competitor's ad and the ad I just created. I'd argue that mine looks even better. So now I've shown you the free tools you can use to create image ads. Next up, I'll show you a paid tool you can use to create image ads that will allow you to create more unique image ads without having to use your competitors as inspiration. I use this tool called Creative OS to create huge amounts of image ads, allowing me to test lots of variations. Creative OS creates image ad templates based on image ads that are actually converting for big brands. Creative OS does offer a 3-day free trial, so from the homepage, click on Pricing and then click on Start your free trial. You can create an account with your Google account or email address. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. You'll then be brought to your Creative OS dashboard. From here, you can browse the ad templates by clicking on Browse Templates. There are hundreds of high converting image ad templates for every niche. You can also search for specific templates related to your niche. So if I type in shoe in the search bar, then I can click on See All under Ad Templates to see all of the image ad templates for shoe-related products. When you find an image ad template you like the look of, click on Edit and you'll be brought to the Creative OS image editor. On the top page, you'll see the original ad template, and on the second page, you'll see the template you can edit. We can start off by dragging an image of our product into the editor. We can use the Background Remover tool to remove the background from our product image. We can then drag the product image into the image placeholder section to replace the original image in the template with the image of our product. We can also drag an image of our logo into the template and replace the logo placeholder. Make sure your logo is a PNG image with a transparent background. Next up, we can edit the colors of the template. You can ask ChatGPT for a color scheme for your ad. So ChatGPT has recommended this blue contrast color, which I have applied to the background. I think it looks really good. I've also edited some of the other elements, such as the text box at the top and the text within these 4 text boxes to fit my color scheme. Try to use colors that match the branding of your store. You can also edit the fonts. So again, choose fonts that match the branding of your store. Finally, you can edit the text within the ad itself. So I've changed where it says wide toe box to non-slip, and where it says featherlight, I've changed this to breathable. Once you're happy with your image ad, click on Export and export the ad as a PNG. So here is the original image ad, and this is the image ad I've been able to create based on the template. Once again, I'd argue that the ad we've created is more eye-catching. Next up, we're going to cover how you should structure your meta ad campaigns when testing a product. Now, let's start from the beginning. The most important thing for your meta ad structure is your ad creative, the videos and the images that you're going to use to actually market your product. Now, we have 2 things that create your ad creative. You have the marketing angle and you have the customer avatar. When you combine these create your ad creative. So let me go over what these actually mean. The marketing angle is the reason someone would want to buy the product. So it focuses on the problem, it focuses on the main benefit or outcome that your product delivers. Right, so I've got some examples here. If you're selling barefoot shoes, the main marketing angle could be to relieve foot pain. The main marketing angle could be to improve balance, get better grip on the ground, strengthen your feet naturally. Right, those are marketing angles if you're selling barefoot shoes. If you're selling something like a red light therapy hairbrush, the main marketing angle could be to grow thicker hair. It could be to reduce hair shedding, improve scalp health, stimulate your hair follicles. So basically think of the angle as the benefit you're selling, the tangible outcome that your customer is going to receive when they buy your product. So that's what the marketing angle is. Next up, you have the customer avatar. The customer avatar is who is going to benefit from that outcome of your product, right? So who is the main person that your product's benefit is going to matter most? So it's the type of person that's most likely to care about the marketing angle of the product. So again, we can look at some examples. If we have a look at barefoot shoes, some customer avatars for barefoot shoes could be over 60s in general. They've got foot pain, you're trying to relieve their foot pain. It could be people with arthritis, it could be hikers, it could be gardeners, it could be people with plantar fasciitis. Those are some customer avatars for barefoot shoes. If we have a look at a red light therapy hairbrush, some customer avatars could be women going through the menopause. It could be pregnant women. It could be women with thinning hair. It could be women recovering from hair loss. So maybe they've had some long-term illness, caused them to lose their hair, and now they're recovering from hair loss. So those are some customer avatars for a red light therapy hairbrush. So like I say, think of the avatar as the person who's experiencing the problem. So the marketing angle is the solution that your product provides, and the customer avatar is the person experiencing the problem. So when you combine these, that is your ad creative. So your ad creative is the intersection between the angle and the avatar. You combine the marketing angle and the customer avatar, and you have your ad creative. So let's look at some examples again. You could create an ad creative for barefoot shoes, relieve foot pain for the over 60s. That's your ad creative. Relieve foot pain for gardeners. That's your ad creative. Get better grip as a hiker. That's your ad creative. For a red light therapy hairbrush, grow thicker hair during the menopause. That's your ad creative. Reduce dry scalp during pregnancy. That's your ad creative. So the reason that this is so important is because different people buy the same product for different reasons, right? So you've got one product that you're selling, but you've got loads of different customers and they might be buying the product for different reasons. And you need to try and find out which of those customer avatars, which of those audiences is most likely to buy the product so you can capitalize them and make more sales. The reason that you start with the ad creative is because Meta doesn't rely heavily on interest targeting anymore. You're not going into Meta and telling it who to target, right? Meta's AI scans your ad creatives, so it will scan the visuals, it will scan the captions, the voiceovers, the text in the ads, and it will determine who the ad should be shown to. So, for example, if you make an ad that clearly says in the ad, hair loss during menopause, Meta immediately understands that the audience is likely to be women, aged 45 and over, interested in hair care, maybe they're experiencing hair thinning. So instead of telling Meta who the audience is, you show Meta who the audience is through your ad creatives. When it comes to your Meta ad structure, the first place you should start is your ad creatives. That's why the angles and avatars come first, because the creative itself becomes the targeting. That's how you target the audience that you want to target from your ad creative. Now, why does this matter the most as a Shopify store owner or a Shopify dropshipper? Well, if you're creating generic ads for your product, Meta has no clear signal for who should see the ad. You're creating ads for barefoot shoes, and all you say is, try these barefoot shoes, they help to reduce pain. Meta doesn't know who to show the ads to, right? So who's the ad for? There's no specific type of audience that ad is for. But if the ad says foot pain after gardening all day, Meta knows that the ad is for a gardening audience. It's going to be for an older demographic. It's going to be for outdoor interests. So the Meta algorithm can match the ad to the right buyers, right? And if you show your ad to the right audience, you have a higher chance of making sales. So now we've gone over that. Let's have a look at the actual campaign structure, right? So where do you start? Well, the first thing is step one, pick one marketing angle, right? Just start with one marketing angle. So think about your product and think about what is the strongest marketing angle for your product. What is the main problem that your product solves? So if we have a look at a red light therapy hairbrush, the main problem that the product solves is going to be grow thicker hair. Something like reducing itchy scalp is a big problem, but growing thicker hair is a bigger problem. Most people want to grow thicker hair. Regardless, in general, most people want to grow thicker hair. People with itchy scalp are going to be a slightly smaller audience, right? So pick the marketing angle that's the biggest problem in general. Now, you could do some research on ChatGPT to find that out, or just use your common sense. The next thing you could do is step two. So you've picked your marketing angle, you've picked the strongest problem or benefit of your product. Step two is to pick 2 or 3 customer avatars. So for example, the red light therapy hairbrush, we've chosen our marketing angle, which is going to be grow thicker hair. Now we're going to pick 2 or 3 customer avatars, right? So we're going to choose women going through menopause. That's one avatar. We're going to choose pregnant women, and we're going to go for a more general avatar, which is women with thinning hair, right? So step 1, pick a marketing angle. Step 2, pick 2 or 3 customer avatars. Step 3 is to create 3 to 4 ad creatives per avatar. So if you pick 3 avatars, you're going to create 9 to 12 ad creatives. So you could have menopause ad 1, menopause ad 2, menopause ad 3, and they're all about growing thicker hair for women going through menopause. And then our second avatar is going to be pregnant women. So we're going to have pregnancy ad 1, pregnancy ad 2, pregnancy ad 3, pregnancy ad 4, and that's going to be about growing thicker hair as a pregnant woman. Then we've got a batch of ads, okay, to start with. If your product doesn't have a wide variety of people that you can target, just start with 2 custom avatars. So you've got 1 marketing angle, 2 custom avatars, and you're going to create 3 to 4 ads for each avatar. So you'd have around 6 to 8 ads at least to start. So say you've got 6 ads at a minimum. Okay, you've picked 2 custom avatars and you've created 3 ads for each avatar. So you have 6 ads. Next up, when you go to create your campaign in your ad set, you are going to choose broad targeting. So you're not going to choose any interests. You're not going to change the demographics. You're not going to change the age. You're not going to change the gender. The reason that you don't change the gender, you might think for something like a red light therapy hairbrush for women, you might think that you'd only want to target women. A lot of people purchase products as gifts, or a husband might purchase it for his wife, or they might send it to their wife, right? So they'll share an ad. And when you get more interactions on your ads, it actually helps to improve your ad. So just leave the targeting broad, okay? So don't change the gender, don't change the age, don't add any interests. Just let Meta's AI read the ad creatives and determine the audience. So you're going to leave all of your targeting completely broad within your ad set. So step 4, you're going to use broad targeting. Step 5, you're going to use a CBO campaign. CBO stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. And basically what it means is you set your daily budget at the campaign level rather than the ad set level. When you set your budget at the campaign level, it means you give Meta the power to decide where your budget is spent. So if you have your 6 ad creatives, you're giving Meta the power to spend the budget on those 6 ad creatives where it best sees fit, right? So you're giving Meta maximum flexibility to allocate the budget. The reason that you want to do this is because Meta will automatically push spend towards the ads that are most likely to generate conversions. Okay, so Meta knows what works. Meta's algorithm is so advanced, Meta's AI has so much data, it knows which ad is most likely to achieve sales, right? So set your budget at the campaign level, and then you're going to put your 6 ad creatives in 1 ad set, and you're just going to let Meta decide which of those ad creatives is going to perform the best. If some ads don't get any spend or very, very little spend, that's fine. That's totally normal. Just leave them on. That's how the structure works in 2026, right? It just means that the algorithm, Meta's algorithm, prefers the other creatives. If you have 6 ad creatives or 8 ad creatives in your campaign, in your ad set, and Meta starts spending on one and all of the others get very low ad spend, it means Meta prefers that ad creative. It's spending on that ad creative for a reason, because it thinks it's going to get the most conversions. Now, when should you kill an ad? So let's say you've got 8 ads in an ad set and Meta's spending on 1 ad, right? Is allocating most of the budget towards 1 ad. When should you kill that ad? Personally, this is the strategy I use. I will spend the product sell price on an ad, and if I see that it's performing really badly, then I'll turn it off, and then I'll leave all of the other ads on, and we'll get into in a moment about adding new ads into the campaign. Now, what do I mean by product sell price? If you're selling your product for $50 and you spend $50 on 1 ad creative, right, and it's performing really badly, the CPMs are really high, the click-through rate is really low, you're not getting any add to carts, you're not getting any checkouts, there are no good signs for that ad creative. It's just performing really poorly. Then you can kill it. Just turn it off, toggle it off. The reason that you want to spend at least the product sell price on an ad creative before you turn it off is because you're giving Meta enough money to achieve a break-even ROAS. Okay, so if you're selling your product for $50 and you spend $50 on an ad creative, you're basically giving Meta enough money for a 1-for-1 ROAS. You spend $50, if you achieve 1 sale, you bring in $50 in revenue. Okay, so like I say, look at the metrics. We have a full tutorial and a full guide on reading the metrics for Meta ads, so you can check that out as well. I'll leave that linked in the description. So that's when to kill an ad. When should you scale an ad? If an ad campaign is profitable, then you can go to the daily budget. So go to the campaign level, go to the daily budget, and you can just increase the campaign budget 10% every 3 to 5 days. You don't want to increase it too quickly because you just need to let Meta stabilize for a few days, right? And when I say increase it 10%, you just round it up, okay? You don't need to be super pedantic. So if you're on $50 per day, you can go to 55. From 55 to increase 10%, you could just go to 60, right? To increase from $60, if you want to go 10%, you're not going to go to 66, just go to 70, okay? Just round it up. As you start to scale more, so if you start to bring in more sales and your ads are more profitable, you can scale a little bit more aggressively. You could scale by 20%, you could scale by 30% every 3 to 5 days. That's all you need to do when it comes to scaling. If your ads are profitable, just increase the budgets every 3 to 5 days. Now, how about testing new angles and avatars? Because I know you're probably thinking, I've tested some ads, they haven't worked. What do I do now, right? You've turned off all the ads, none of them have worked. Or some of them are performing poorly, some of them are average, bringing a few sales at break even. What do I do now? You need to keep testing new ads, right? A lot of people just give up on a product. It's not always about the product. Now, there are other factors that come into this. Of course, if you're getting a lot of clicks and you're not getting any sales, then it's something to do with your store. So maybe you've got poor design, you're not building trust, it doesn't look professional, store loads slow, product price is too high for the market. There are a number of different things that go into the store design. Again, we have a full tutorial on how to create a high converting store. But how do you actually test more ad creatives? And like I say, don't give up on the product too early. It could be you need to test some new marketing angles, you need to test some new you need to test some new avatars, you need to test some new ad creative formats. So what you want to do is, within your campaign, create a new ad set for all of the new ads that you test. So every time that you test a new angle and avatar combination, then you're going to create a new ad set and put a bunch of new ads in that ad set. Again, we'll go back to the red light therapy hairbrush. Now we want to test a new angle and a new avatar. So this time we're going to test improving scalp health for pregnant women. We're going to create a new ad set and we're going to put our 4 or 5 ad creatives in that ad set. Again, Meta will still allocate the spend, right? So don't worry too much if your new ad creatives that you're testing don't get a lot of spend right away. It can sometimes take a week for Meta to start to serve that ad creative that it thinks is going to perform to the right audience. So you really need to trust Meta. Okay, they've tried to make the platform as easy as possible for advertisers to use. They want to make it super simple. That's why they just want you to have one campaign and you're just putting all of your creatives in there and you're giving Meta all of the power with regard to where to spend the budget. Okay, Meta just wants to make it super simple and let the algorithm and let AI do all of the heavy lifting. So you're just going to create new ad sets for new avatar and angle combinations, and you're just going to test those. Once you find an angle and an avatar that's working, so you might need to test quite a lot of them. You need to be testing regularly. So don't just come up with 4 ad creatives and leave it. You need to be testing and pumping out new creatives all the time. So try to create new ad creatives every day if you can, for different avatars, for different angles, different ad formats. So an ad format could be, we have a full guide on different ad formats. So again, I'll leave that linked in the description, but different ad formats could be UGC. You could have a review ad. You could have a voiceover ad. You could have a B-roll ad just with music. You could have an image ad. So those are ad creative formats. You're testing different ad formats also for the angles and the avatars. So you need to be pumping out new ad creatives all the time. Once you find an marketing angle and a customer avatar that's working, so we'll go back to the red light therapy hairbrush. Let's say growing thicker hair for women going through menopause. Let's say one of those ads starts to do well and starts to achieve sales consistently and profitably. All you're going to then do is double down on creating more ad creatives for that angle and for that avatar. So just create more content, pump out more content, and keep putting those into the ad set for growing thicker hair for menopause. Just keep putting those into that ad set. Then you know this is the winning angle and the winning avatar. And then you're just going to create more ads for that angle and for that avatar. And that will help you to scale your campaigns and bring in more sales, because you know this is the winning angle, this is the winning avatar, this is what works, this is what resonates for my product. So you're just going to double down on that audience and then create more ad creatives, test a variety of ad creatives for that angle and for that avatar. So like I say, create more UGC ads, create more image ads, create more review ads. You can do some B-roll ads, test loads of different ad creative formats. And that's all you need to do. You just create more ad creatives for the angle and the avatar that's working, double down on it, and then you scale from there by increasing your budgets on the campaign. And that's basically it. Next up, I'm going to show you how to finally launch your first Meta Ads campaign. So let's dive into the Meta Ads Manager and start launching your first campaign. When you create an ad campaign within Meta, you have 3 pillars. You have the campaign itself, then the ad set, and then the ads. Let me break down what each pillar is. Firstly, you have the campaign itself. This is where you'll choose your campaign objective. There are a number of different campaign objectives you can choose from. You have awareness, traffic, engagement, and a few others, but the one you want to optimize for as a Shopify store owner is sales. So just think of your campaign as what you want to achieve. In our instance, we want to achieve more sales on our store. One other thing to mention is that we only want to launch one product per campaign. So don't run ads to various different products within one campaign. Every time you want to test a new product, you'll launch a new campaign for that product. Next up, you have the ad set. Think of the ad set as who you're going to target. So within your ad set, you can choose which country you want to run your ads to, and you can choose your audience demographics, such as their age and gender. And then you have the ad itself. So this is going to be the image or video you use to advertise your products. You're going to want to have a number of different ads to use in your first ad campaign. We have full tutorials on creating different types of ad formats for your products, so I'll leave those linked in the description. Now you understand how Meta ad campaigns are structured, let's get into setting up your first ads campaign. But before we move on, I want to quickly mention a big mistake a lot of beginners make when launching their first ad campaigns, and that is not optimizing your Shopify store for sales. You can bring in huge amounts of traffic from your ad campaigns, but if your store isn't optimized for sales, you'll be wasting your money. An easy way to improve your store's conversion rate is by utilizing reviews. Reviews help build trust and social proof on your Shopify store, convincing more visitors to make a purchase. If you're looking to add reviews to your Shopify store, we use Judge.me. It's a free Shopify reviews app that quickly lets you import and display reviews. And if you're a dropshipper, you can import reviews directly from AliExpress to your Shopify store. So I'll leave a link in the description to Judge.me and you can check it out for yourself. We also have a full tutorial on how to create a high converting store, so again, I'll leave that linked in the description. From your Meta Ads Manager, we can begin setting up our first campaign. So click on Create under Campaigns. You'll be prompted to choose a campaign objective. So as we mentioned earlier, we want to optimize for sales, so we're going to choose Sales and hit Continue. You can give your campaign a name. So as we're testing one product per campaign, we can name our campaign after our product and then give the campaign name a description based on whether we're testing the product or scaling it. So we're going to call this campaign Pupmaster Pro Testing Campaign. Next up, you have campaign budget versus ad set budget. Campaign budget versus ad set budget is basically how you decide to spend your budget on your ads. If you choose campaign budget, it means you give Meta the power to spend your budget on the ads it thinks will have the best chance of performing. So Meta will basically allocate your daily budget across your ads and spend it on the ads it thinks has the highest chance of achieving sales. When you're first starting out, it's best to choose campaign budget, as Meta's AI is so advanced, it can use its data to figure out which one of your ads will have the best chance of achieving sales. When you start to bring in some consistent sales with the product and you want to test larger volumes of ads or segment your campaigns into different audiences or marketing angles, you can then use ad set budget. So we're going to choose campaign budget, and then we can choose the daily budget for our ad campaign. I know you're probably thinking, how long should I run my ad campaign for? It isn't really about how many days you run the campaign. It's about how much you spend on a campaign and then reading the data based on that ad spend to see what's working and where you can improve after reading your ad metrics. So for example, you could set your daily budget to $10 per day and run the campaign for 7 days, which would be $70 in ad spend. Or you could just spend $70 on the first day. You're going to collect the same data. It's just going to take you 6 days longer to collect in the first scenario. I recommend spending 2 to 3 times of your product's sell price on a testing campaign and then reading the ad data to see where you can improve. Of course, if the ads are profitable after these first 2 days, you can just continue running the campaigns. So if you're selling your product for $40, you can set your daily budget to $40 and then run the campaign for 3 days. If you're selling your product for $80, you can set your budget to $80 and perhaps you want to be a bit more conservative with your budget and run it for 2 days as you're going to be spending slightly more. So I'm selling my product for £45, so I'm going to set my daily budget to £50. You can leave everything else under the campaign tab as default and click next. Now we're in the ad set level. Again, we can give our ad set a name. Because the ad set is who we're targeting, we can name it after this. I recommend running a broad targeting campaign as your first campaign, and you can simply narrow it down by the countries you want to target. Broad targeting basically means we don't change any of the demographics or add any interest targeting. We simply choose the country and leave everything else as the default. The reason you want to run a broad campaign is because Meta's AI has so much data, it can figure out which audience to show your ads to based on the ad creative itself. So when you create your ad creatives, which are the videos and images you're going to use for your ads, be sure to be very specific with the type of audience and marketing angle you want to target within the ads themselves. So if you're selling barefoot shoes, for example, don't make ads just listing the benefits of barefoot shoes. Your ad should be relieve foot pain for gardeners or improve foot pain for nurses. Think specific pain points for specific audiences. Meta can understand who your ads should be served to simply by scraping the content in your ads. So I'm going to name this ad set Broad UK. Under conversion location, choose website. Under performance goal, choose maximize number of conversions. Under data set, choose your Shopify store's pixel. And under conversion event, choose purchases. Don't worry if you see a message saying you haven't received any activity from the conversion you've selected. This is completely fine. Scroll down to the budget and schedule section. From here, you can choose when you want your ads to start. If you leave this, your ads will be scheduled to start as soon as they've been reviewed by Meta. Or you can choose a specific time you want to start running your ad campaigns. This isn't massively important, but a lot of people choose to start their campaigns from midnight the next day, so they know the exact day they started their campaign. Now scroll down to the audience section. From here, you can choose the target location for your ads. Click on the pencil icon and you can add or remove locations and countries. If you click on Show Settings within the audience section, you can also choose specific age and gender demographics, as well as add specific interests and behaviors. As I mentioned earlier, leave all of this as default as we'll be running a broad targeting campaign and letting Meta's AI optimize the rest. Under Ads Transparency and Placements, you can leave everything else as the default. In the bottom right corner, you can click on Show Estimated Audience, and you'll see the potential audience size your ads will be shown to. Don't worry if you see a huge number. It's better for Meta to have a bigger potential audience to show your ads to, rather than a more narrow one, as sometimes Meta can struggle to serve your ads if the potential audience size is too small. Now we can click on Next. From here, we can upload our actual ad. Start off by giving your ad a name. Name your ad something that makes it easy to identify, so later when you're reading your ad metrics, you know which of your ads are performing the best. So I'm going to call this Video Ad 1 Mum UGC. You can choose the Facebook page and Instagram account for your store, as these are the accounts you'll be running the ads from, and then scroll down to Ad Setup. Leave the media setup as manual upload and format as single image or video, then scroll down to Destination. The destination is where you want to send the traffic from your ads. So choose Website, and within Website URL, add the link to your product page. Make sure to send your traffic to the product page of the product you're advertising so the customers can purchase right away. Don't send them to the home page of your store, as you're adding additional steps to get your traffic to make a purchase. You can click on Use Display Link and enter a shorter link if you want to, just to make the URL in your ad look a bit tidier. Scroll down to Add Creative and click on the Setup Creative dropdown. Choose whether you want to upload an image or video ad. So I'm going to choose video. You'll then be brought to the Creative Setup section. Leave everything as the default except under the tab that says Apply Website Highlights, toggle this off. This takes assets directly from your website, but because we're uploading our own ad creatives, we don't need this. You can leave your product catalog on and click Next. From here, you can upload your ad. So click Upload in the right corner and choose the ad you want to upload. Once it's finished uploading, click Next. You'll then be prompted to add some copy to your ad. From here, you can add 3 sections. We have primary text, a headline, and a description. The primary text is the most important. It appears above the image or video in the feed. The primary text is your main story or hook and helps to stop people scrolling depending on which platform they're viewing your ad on. For most e-commerce products, a short, punchy primary text works best. For certain products, long-form copy as the primary text can work, but really you want to get to the point and focus on calling out your main target audience or marketing angle for your product. So I'm just going to say, got a young golfer at home, this might be the one gift they actually use. You can bring the copy to life by adding relevant emojis. I use ChatGPT to help me write the copy for the ad. Next up, we have the headline. The headline appears as bold text just above your call to action. Your headline should be a short one-liner that reinforces the core benefit of your product. So I'm just going to say the perfect gift for young golfers. Finally, we have the description. This appears as small grey text under the headline, but it isn't visible on every placement or device. This should be used to add some minor supporting information. So I'm just going to add 30-day money-back guarantee. For the call to action, choose Shop Now. Meta's AI will also generate some additional pieces of copy for the primary text and headlines. Leave these on as this gives Meta more variety when testing your ads and can help them perform better. Then click Next. Next up, you'll see Advantage Plus enhancements. You can turn all of these off except for text improvements, which is the AI copy we just left on. Then click Next. Now under the ad preview, you can see what your ads will look like on different placements and devices across Meta. If you're happy with your ads, you can click Publish to publish your campaign. Your campaign will now go into a review, and once Meta have reviewed and approved it, it will be scheduled to go live at the time you scheduled it to go live. Now currently, we've only added one ad to our campaign. So you can come back into your ads manager, choose your campaign and click Edit. Click on your ad and then click the 3 dots and click Duplicate. You can rename this ad for the next ad you plan on uploading. So I'm going to call this Video Ad 2 Wife VoiceOver. Then scroll down to Ad Creative, click on the bin icon to delete the original ad creative, click on Add Media and choose Image or Video Ad, and then upload your next ad creative. Again, you can add the copy for your next ad, make it relevant to the target marketing angle or audience for this ad, and then go through the same setup process as the previous ad. You can then click Publish again and repeat this process as many times as you need to upload your additional ads. As I say, once you've done this, your ads will go into review, and once Meta reviews and approves them, your ad campaigns will begin running. Next up, let's look at how to know when you should kill or scale your ads campaign based on the metrics and data. The first thing you are going to want to do is create a spreadsheet with a snapshot of all of the numbers of the campaign. So you can create a spreadsheet like this with the dates that you've been running your ads campaign, how much revenue you brought in, how much you spent on ads, your cost of goods on the product, your payment processor fees and Shopify fees. So you can just do a quick Google of these to go and add these to your spreadsheet. And then you will see the profit and loss for each day. So you can just create a formula where you get your revenue minus your ad spend, minus your cost of goods, minus your fees, which will be the profit and loss for the day on the ad campaign. And then you've got your total profit and loss. So we calculate all of these days to create our total profit and loss. And you can basically set yourself a stop loss for how much you're willing to lose when testing a product. That's totally up to you. That's down to your own budget. I usually will test a product up to $250. If I make a $250 total loss, then I need to change something, whether that's testing new ads or if I need to go and test a completely new product. So like I said, that's totally up to you. Now you're also probably thinking, how long should I run the campaign? How many days should I run the campaign? It's not about how many days you run the campaign, it's how much you spend on the campaign. I recommend spending 2 to 3 times the sell price of your product on a campaign. So if you're selling a product for $50, you're going to spend $150 on the campaign, 3 times the sale price of your product. If you're selling a product for $80, maybe you only want to spend 2 times the sale price of the product, $160. So again, that's up to you how much you're willing to spend, but you're going to want to spend at least 2 to 3 times of the sale price of the product. And the reason that you do this is because you're giving the ads enough money to collect enough data and to give you a 1-for-1 ROAS. So if you're selling your product for $50 and you spend $50 on the campaign, you've given your ads campaign enough money to achieve a 1-for-1. If you spend $50 on the campaign and you make 1 sale, you bring back $50 in revenue. So like I say, you're going to want to spend 2 to 3 times of the sale price of the product for that reason. And that's why we don't measure it on how many days we run the campaign, because you could set your campaign to $10 per day and you could run it for 7 days. You're going to spend $70 on the campaign, or you could just spend $70 on the first day. You're going to get the exact same data back. So that's why it's better to just spend the money quicker so you can get the data quicker and make quicker decisions for your store. So we've got 2 different examples here. We've got store example 1. I'm going to go over a campaign that we ran where we killed the product. And then I'm going to go over a campaign that we ran where we scaled the product. And then you can see the difference. But it's basically the same thing. This is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to go into your store every day, track the revenue, the ad spend, and the cost of goods, and see the profit and loss each day. So let's go for the first day of this particular product. We'll come into the store. We can see on the 17th of November last year, we brought in 0 in revenue. Then we can come to the ads manager. We're going to come to the 17th of November. You can see we spent £29.25. So we can come in here and we're going to put £29.25. Now, our cost of goods that day was nothing because we didn't fulfill any orders. There weren't any orders that came in, so we didn't fulfill any. We'll come to the second day. We're going to come to the 18th and we'll hit apply. You can see the second day we brought in $44.99 in revenue. So we can come over here. We're going to do $44.99. And we'll come back over here. We'll come to the 18th. And you can see we spent $47.81 on ads. Okay, so we're going to put in here $47.81. Our cost of goods on this product was around £18. So we're going to put in $17.99 in here. Okay, so you can see so for our first 2 days, we're already in loss, right? Our total loss is £54. We're going to keep going with this. So like I said, I want to give you a live snapshot of each product. We can come back here. We're going to go to the 19th now. And you should be doing this for your own products. Track the numbers rigorously. This is how you can tell whether you should be scaling a product or not. So we brought in $44.99 again on this day. $44.99. And we can come back to our ads manager. We'll come to the 19th again. And we can see we spent $55.53 on this day. So we'll come back $55.53. And again, we fulfilled 1 product. $17.99. So we're already kind of getting into loss now. But the reason that I continue to run a product, even if it's getting into loss, is because we are making sales. There will always be losses in the beginning when you first start running a campaign. So that's why I set myself a stop loss of $250. As long as I don't go too far into the loss, I will keep running the campaign. What you want to do is you want to ride the wave of your ad campaign. There'll be some days where you make profit. There'll be some days where you make loss. There'll be some days where you make profit, some days where you make loss. If you can keep riding that wave of profit and loss without going too deep into loss, then what you'll be doing is you'll be collecting data with your ads campaign on your pixel, and you'll also be able to look at the data on your particular ads. So you'll be able to look at the CPM, you'll be able to look at the cost per click, you'll be able to look at the click-through rate, and you can get a better idea of whether the ads are performing well or not and what you need to change. So for example, if your click-through rate is very low, you need to change something on your ads. If your CPMs are high, again, you need to change something on your ads. Or perhaps you're just making, some days you're in profit, some days you're in loss, some days you're in profit, some days you're in loss. That just means that your pixel doesn't have enough data and Meta is still trying to figure out who to show your ads to. So eventually you can gain momentum. If you're going through a phase with your ad campaign where some days you're profit, some days you're loss, some days you're profit, some days you're loss, you're collecting data. You're still making sales and Meta is figuring out who to show your ads to. So just see it as you're paying for the data. Even if you're a little bit in loss, you're paying for the data. So it's worth it in the long term. Because Meta campaigns have something called the learning phase. And that's basically where you need to achieve 50 conversions in a 7-day period for it to be fully optimized. So if you get 50 sales in a 7-day period, you will see that your ad campaigns will start to improve. So as I say, as long as you don't go too deep into loss, if you can get those 50 sales within a 7-day period, you'll go through the learning phase and then Meta will be able to find customers easier for you. So let's continue on with this. We'll go to the 20th. So we're going to come back to our store and we will come to the 20th here. And we can see again $44.99. So we could put that in here. And now we're going to come back to our ads manager. We'll come to the 20th. And we can see we only spent, if we come over here, £30.66 on this day. And again, one order fulfilled. So our cost of goods was $17.99. We're going to come to the 21st. So let's come to the 21st. We'll hit apply. We can see $89.33 on this day. So we'll come in here, $89.33. So that was 2 orders. We can see how many orders it was, 2 orders over here. And we can come to the 21st in here and we'll hit update. And we spent $69.22 on this day. So we can come back over here and we can put in $69.22. And we spent £36, so that's $35.98. So we could put $35.98 for the cost of goods. So you can see we're getting into loss now. So that's why, this is a fairly early indication that we might kill this soon. We're going to come back and continue on for the next couple of days. So we'll go to the 22nd. You can see 22nd, we brought in £178. That was 4 sales. So we're going to come back over here, 178. We'll double this. So 36, that's 72. We'll just put in just to make it easy. And then we've got our ad spend. So we'll come back to the 22nd and we can see on the 22nd, we spent 70 plus 12, we spent £82. So we'll come back over here. I am rounding some of the numbers up just to speed this up. So that was our first day of profit. So you get the idea. We've rode the wave here a bit of loss, and now we've made our first day of profit. So if you see this is a good sign. Doesn't mean that you're going to be profitable, but that means we've had our first profitable day. So now we could gain some momentum. That's what I'm talking about with the learning phase. The more sales you get, the easier Meta can find sales for you. So then you can go through this phase. As long as you're making a few sales, it's collecting data. Then you could start to get some profitable days. Now with this particular product, that didn't happen, but I'm just giving you an idea of how you should think about it for your own stores. So now we're going to look at the 23rd. So we're going to come over here. So this was actually 178.66, but we'll just leave it rounded for now. We'll come to the 23rd. 23rd was 134.36. So we'll come in here, 134.36. That was 3 sales. So 3 sales is going to be 54. Like I say, I've just rounded this up. And then we have our ads. So we'll come to the ads manager. We can see we spent $88.93. So we'll come back over here, $88.93. So this day we were a little bit in loss again. So now we'll come to the 24th. So let's come to the 24th. You can see we brought in no sales on the 24th, so we had a bad day on the 24th. So 0. And then if we come to our ads manager, we could come to the 24th. And you can see we spent $79.28, so a big loss on the 24th. $79.28. And you can see I'm still not completely at my total profit stop loss, which was $250, but I'm very close. So then we ran this for one more day. So we'll come over to the 25th now. We'll hit apply on the 25th. You can see we brought in 0 sales on the 25th. Right, so we're going to do 0. We'll come back to the ads manager for the 25th. We hit update. You can see we spent $51.74. So I'd scaled down a little bit. So we'll go to $51.74 and 0. And then finally, we'll do the 26th, just as the final day. So we'll go to the 26th. We brought in 1 sale, $44.30. So $44.30, $17.99. Now, the only problem with this product as well, the margins were quite small. So even when we brought in a sale, we didn't bring in a lot of profit. So that's another problem with this particular product as well. Our margins were quite tight. And we'll just come over here and we'll come to the 26th. And you can see we spent $39.74. And this is where we basically killed the product. So we'll put this in here and you can see I've hit my total loss, right? So that is a full snapshot of how we decided to kill this product, right? It wasn't working. If we have a look, we can go from this period, from the 17th to the 26th, we can have a look at some of the numbers. We can see, of course, our cost per result is very high. Our CPM is quite high. I said we want CPMs under $40. This is around $40, right? So it's just on the CPM threshold. Our CPC is £1.25. It's quite high. Our click-through rate is fairly low. So most of the numbers are not looking very good. Obviously, our ROAS is very low. It's not even close to break even. So all of the numbers are pretty bad. And that's why we decided we're going to kill this product. Then you can go back to the drawing board and decide where you went wrong. So you can look at your store's conversion rate. So we can have a look over this period, 17 to the 26th, was our store's conversion rate significantly low? So we can scroll down here. We can see the conversion rate was 3.13. That's actually not that bad. So if you have a conversion rate, let's say under 1%, there's a problem with your store, right? So if you have a very low conversion rate, you have a problem with your store. So in this instance, our conversion rate is around average, maybe slightly above average. Average conversion rate is 2 to 5%. So we just call it average. So it's nothing to do with our store. If we come over to our ads, like I say, the CPMs are fairly high. Cost per clicks are quite high. Click-through rates are average. So it's nothing to do with the click-through rate. It's probably the CPM. So we need to create better ads in this instance. And then the last thing, which I've already mentioned, is just generally the margin on this product was fairly small. So we need to think of a way to increase our margins, increase our average order value so that we can turn some of these unprofitable days into profitable days. You can see some of these days, the loss wasn't that high. So if we could have turned some of these days into profitable days by having higher margins, we could have ran this product a bit longer. You could see a few of these days where we could have potentially made a profit if we had higher margins. So now let's move on and let's look at another product that we scaled, and I can show you the difference. So let's go over another store from January this year. We had already scaled it up fairly high, but I'm going to show you how we scaled it further with our ad campaigns. So we can come to the 1st of January. You can see we brought in $3,501. So we'll just come over here and we'll put in 3,501.61. Make sure you are tracking the numbers correctly. So I know I did round some of these here, but make sure you are putting them in precisely. Then we've got our ad spend. So we can come over here for this particular product. You can see on the 1st of January, 1635.13. So we'll come over here and we'll do 1635.13. Now our cost of goods for this product was around $12. So you can see we brought in 74 orders. So we do 74 times 12 is 888. I'm just rounding this up. So we can put in 888. So we had a pretty profitable day on this first day. Now, like I say, we had already scaled this up fairly high. We're spending over $1,500 every day on ads. But we basically just done the same thing that I'm going to show you. We scaled it slowly by incrementing 10 to 20% every day because we were seeing consistent profits. And I'm going to show you that now. So now we can come to the second day, which is the 2nd of January. So we'll come in here, we'll go to 2nd of January and we'll hit apply. We can see we brought in 3,302. So we'll come over here, 3,302.60, and we'll come into the ads manager for the second. You can see 1,649.65. So 1,649.65. And then we can see how many sales we brought in, 66. So we'll do 66 times 12, which is 792. So we can come in here for our cost of goods. We could put in 792. And you can see we had another profitable day. It wasn't as profitable, but it was still pretty profitable. So now there's a good indication we're going to start scaling this product. So we can come back in here. We're going to go to the 3rd now. We'll hit apply. You can see on the 3rd, we actually brought in quite a lot less. So we'll just wait for this to load and we'll come back to the ads manager. We'll come to the 3rd and we'll hit update. You can see we spent 1,655.41 on ads. So we'll come in here, 1,655.41. We can have a look. We brought in 56 sales. So we'll just change this to 56. So that's 672. So we didn't have a massively profitable day on this day in comparison to the previous 2 days. And then we've got 2714.15 here. 2714.15. So you can see the profit has gone down. And that's why you want to track this. It doesn't matter too much about revenue. You want to track your profits. There's no point of scaling your campaigns if you're not increasing in profit. Even if you're increasing in revenue, if you're not increasing in profit, there's no point of scaling the campaigns because you're just having to fulfill more orders and deal with more customer service headaches, but you're not actually making more profit. So always make sure, even if you're scaling your campaigns, to track the profit daily, because you only want to increase your ad spend and increase your revenue if your profits are also increasing. Otherwise, you're just scaling in vain. You're bringing in more sales, more revenue, but you're not actually gaining anything out of it. You're just giving yourself more customer service headaches, more orders to fulfill, more problems. So now we can come to the fourth. So we'll come over here and we will go to the fourth. We'll hit apply. You can see 3272.83. So we'll come in here, 3272.83. And then we've got the ad spend. So we'll come to the fourth for the ad spend. And you can see we spent slightly more. So we scaled up. So we've got 1824.59. So we'll come back over here, 1824.59. And then we can see we've got 59 orders, which is 708. So we can come over here, 708. And we're basically, at this point, we haven't changed how much we're spending. It will fluctuate when you get to bigger numbers. So you might think that we scaled the campaign here, even though I've just said we had less profit, so why would you scale? We haven't scaled the campaign. Sometimes Meta will spend slightly more one day, slightly less one day, even if you leave the budget, right? It will fluctuate the budget. It won't always spend the exact budget that you set it to. But you can see we increased our profits, right? So now we've increased our profits, we can begin scaling. So we're going to come back to day number 5. We'll hit apply. You can see we brought in 2288.45. So we'll come over here, 2288.45. And we made 47 sales. So this is how you see things can go up and down when you're running meta ad campaigns. This is why you should track them daily. And then you can get a weekly snapshot of your overall profit for the week. So now we'll come to the 5th. We'll hit update. You can see we spent 1740.92. So again, slightly less. 1740.92. Okay. Now you can see for this particular day, we made a loss. That's fine. You are going to have some days where you make a loss. Okay. Even when you're scaling a product. We'll come to the 6th now. I'm going to speed this up a little bit and basically explain how we decided to start to scale. So now we've got 2317.76. So we'll come over here, 2317.76. And we've got our ad spend. So we'll come back here, we'll come to the 6th. We'll hit update. You can see 1681.70. So if we come over here, we've got 1681.70. And then we've got our cost of goods, right? So 49 orders and 588. So we're going to come over here, 588. Okay, so we barely made any profit that day. Now I'm going to fast forward to a month. We basically track this for an entire month. Things are going up and down. We have some profitable days. We have some days of loss. We have some days of basically break even. But what happened over a period for the rest of January, we started to make a lot of profitable days, right? And then we scaled up in February. So we go to a random day in February. Let's go back to the analytics. We'll come all the way to February. We'll come to the 24th of February. You can see we brought in 3815 in February. As a matter of fact, we can come to a random day. We'll go to the 1st of March. Right. You can see 1st of March, we brought in 4K. And we'll go to the ad spend for the 1st of March. We'll hit update. And you can see the amount that we spent was kind of similar. So we've only been scaling the budget very, very slowly, right? So you can see we are scaling this product pretty slowly. We have gone from a $1,500 daily ad spend to a $2,000 daily ad spend now over a few months period. And like I say, the reason that we're doing that is because we don't just want to scale revenue, we also want to scale profits. You can see we're having some days where we didn't scale profits. So that's why we're scaling slowly. The other reason is that this is a seasonal product. So we are going to be pushing it a lot harder throughout the summer. It is a seasonal summer product, so we expect to make a lot more sales in the summer. So we're going to start pushing the daily ad spend throughout the summer as well. But the key thing I want you to take away from this video is that you need to know your numbers when it comes to killing or scaling an ad campaign. You can see the ad campaign we showed you that we killed. We had our total profit and loss, so we set ourselves a stop loss. Once we got to that, then we killed the campaign, and then you will go back to the drawing board. You're going to read the numbers, you're going to look at the metrics. We have a full guide on how to read the metrics and read the numbers and what to look out for. And then for this particular product that we're scaling, we scaled slowly and we're scaling based on the daily profit. We want to make more profits and not just bring in more sales and revenue. We don't just want to scale in vain. We want to scale profitably. So you can scale slowly. And like I say, if you have a seasonal product, you are going to scale slowly as well. Now, of course, if you're a complete beginner, you are probably thinking, okay, so how do you scale up to these high numbers? You just do the same thing. You just scale slowly. You have some profitable days, you have some lost days. As long as you don't hit your threshold that you're willing to lose on your ad campaign, just keep riding the wave of profit and loss. Like I say, you'll go through something called the learning phase. So when you're in your ads campaigns, they will say learning phase. And once you come out of that learning phase, that means that you've got more data on your meta pixels and on your ad campaigns so that it can find customers easier for you. So just think of any loss that you're spending on a campaign, just think of it as you're purchasing data. You're getting data on your pixel, and also you're able to read the metrics so you can see where you need to improve. Is it your store's conversion rate? Do you have a low conversion rate, under 2%, for example? Then you need to do something on your store to improve it. Your store design, it could be your product pricing, it could be the offer of your product is not appealing enough, so you need to do something there. Is it your ad metrics? So is your click-through rate low? Are your CPMs high? Then you need to do something with your ads. And if you're just seeing consistent profitable days, just increase the budget 10 to 20% every 3 to 5 days. That's all you need to do. Just come into your ad budget. So you can come over here. If we scroll across, you'll see the daily budget. You can just go and change this and increase it 10 to 30% every 3 to 5 days, depending on how profitable you are. So if you've had a very profitable day, you can increase it 30%. If you've had a mildly profitable day, you can increase it 10%. So those are all the things that you need to do. So for example, on this day here, even though this was a bad campaign, we had a profitable day, we could increase our budget by 10%. I wouldn't recommend doing it just after one day. You want to see a few profitable days in a row. So like I say, every 3 to 5 days is where you would increase the budget. So if you see 3 profitable days in a row, then you can increase the budgets. If the profits are kind of low, increase it by 10%. If the profits are high, increase it by 30%. And then wait another 3 to 5 days. If it continues like that, then increase it again. If it's break even, just leave it and let it spend and collect the data. So that is all you need to do when it comes to killing or scaling an ad campaign. Don't overcomplicate things, just make sure you are tracking the numbers and you are making informed decisions based on the daily profit or loss of the ad campaigns. There you have it, that is our complete Meta Ads Masterclass. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more dropshipping and e-commerce content. This has been Elliot with Judge.me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.